I really had no intention of filming a video today. I got in late last night from a trip. Basically, it's currently Tuesday, and on Thursday of last week, I flew to North Carolina, and that is where my sister lives. And so I stayed with my sister for the night, and then we drove up to West Virginia, and I surprised my dad. We had the weekend in a cabin in West Virginia with my dad, my sister's boyfriend, my cousin, and my grandpa, who is 92. On Sunday, we drove back to North Carolina, and I left Monday evening, got into LA last night, and I am now home in my beautiful home that I love so much in the city that is just so exciting for me. And it was like the most tiring weekend I've had in a really long time because I was still doing work. And so I didn't know what time zone I was on. I was working until like 1 a.m. every day, and then waking up at like 5 or 6 so that I could do my morning practice before everyone else got up. And then just like a day packed with spending time with family in a little cabin was really fun, and it was really exhausting. And so I got in last night and just like passed out, and I slept like 8 hours, which is more than what I've been sleeping the past couple of days. And I'm a person who needs a lot of sleep, so I was feeling really tired. My nose is so runny right now just from flying. I love traveling, but flying just like impacts my body. Especially now, because with good measure, they really purify the air in airplanes, and it's a lot. And I, this morning, had just a great morning practice, and I went on a little walk up in the mountains, and this morning was feeling, and am currently feeling, so much gratitude coming back to this life that I love so much. And like, it's not even necessarily about the physical things in my life that I'm grateful for, even though I am grateful for all of those things so much. It's this connection that I've been nurturing with myself that I'm just so grateful for. And I've just been feeling really good this morning, and even though I'm tired, just really good. And so this Friday is my 22nd birthday. And so I think today I just was reflecting so much on the past couple of years of my life, especially the past year of my life, which I fully believe that even though we have hard years, at least in my own personal life, like if I'm dedicated to growing, if I'm dedicated to moving into the direction that I'm supposed to be going, every single year gets better, even if it's hard. And this past year, I've talked about this, I think, quite a bit on my channel, but I'm just wanted to make a dedicated video to it, kind of talking about the past year of being 21 and as I move into 22, where I'm at and what I've learned, and just like a little timestamp for me to look back at and in a year be like, oh my God, I've grown so much from the person that I was when I recorded this video. So 21 was the one of, if not the biggest year of change for me. I think there's only been 1 year that's come close to that, and it was when I moved to California when I was 18. But this past year was like, I mean, we all know the events of this past year, and everyone had a different experience with how they were affected with it. For me, even though it was hard, it really helped me a lot. It really, really helped me a lot. Last year, on my 21st birthday, and by the way, my birthday is on April 23rd, so on my 21st birthday, it was kind of like still the heat of coronavirus. Like it was very fresh and very new, and people were very scared. And so everything in LA was shut down. Beaches, parks, everything was shut down. For me, turning 21 kind of was like any other birthday because I don't drink. And so it wasn't like, oh my God, my 21st birthday. It was just like my 21st birthday. And a lot of my friends too were quarantining, and so living in a city by yourself, you have to kind of go out of your way to make your holidays and birthdays special because you don't really have family. And I'm lucky to have like a really amazing people in my life, and so we had a couple of my friends got together for my birthday last year, and it was special. However, entering into my birthday was like the most amount of change because I was working in the restaurant industry. I had just gotten furloughed because all of the restaurants were closed. And even though I was on unemployment, it was like the future of what I built my income around was so uncertain. And so my 21st birthday last year, I remember the night before, I was just like so sad. Like I just remember crying and I was like, I don't want to cry like right before my birthday, but it was just a lot. I was really scared of like what was going to happen without my income. And, but we had a lovely day. We drove all the way to Ventura to go swimming in the ocean. It was freezing, but it was so much fun. We got burritos. We had just like the chillest day ever. And entering into being 21, I knew that it was going to be a year of change, but I had no idea the change that it would bring in myself, my own personal self, the amount of growth that would come, as well as the amount of change in my life relating to career, basically. And over the course of the past year, I built my own business and now work freelance full-time. I was able to quit my restaurant job. And like, aside from all of that, like really, I think I just went inward a lot this year and became very good at trusting and being fluid with change and opened up realms of myself that I didn't even know existed. And I think that's kind of how life works, is like, I'm reflecting right now on the growth that I've had, and yet there's so much more growth to come. Like, it's infinite. Yeah, I had such a good year, and I've just been kind of reflecting on, as I enter into being 22, I think for me, age has always been not that important of a thing because I never really related to people my age that much. I had a very different path from people my age. And so my age wasn't something that I think about that much. In fact, I forget how old I am like a lot. I forget how old other people are a lot. It's just like a thing. And I think that birthdays are such a special moment to reflect on the past year of our life and yet know that everybody's journey is different. I think just breaking down the notion of age being this thing that means that you're having the same experience as people who are your age, and reminding ourselves that we are all born into different timelines. Like, I feel like when I was born, I was much older than 1 year old, and that's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but I think I just never related to my age that much because it just felt like a number. Like, the past year hasn't felt like 1 year. It's felt like 10 years. And I think one thing I've noticed a lot in LA is like, age is such a feared thing. Like, when people turn 27, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. Like, gotta figure out my life. And I think just reminding ourselves that our timelines are not defined by age or by time. A year can feel like 10 years, or it can feel like 1 month went by, and it really just always goes back to being here today, right now, in whatever way that means. And so, yes, I am so happy to be 22 and to reflect on the past year of my life, of who I've become. And yet every day is almost like a year because I'm learning more and more to give the moment my full attention and to be here today in whatever way I can. Not thinking about, oh, when I'm 23, I'll have it figured out, or when I'm 28, I'll have it figured out. Understanding that right now I have the full ability and all the tools I need to have it figured out in whatever way that means today. And yes, I look forward to growing and evolving and changing. And I look forward to being like 70 years old and having gray hair and like living in the forest. That sounds amazing. And yet I'm here today, right now. And it is the most beautiful gift. And I think that is like the thing that I come back to over and over again, is that no amount of excitement or planning or dreading or worrying or dreaming could be any more magical than what is currently here right now today. Not necessarily circumstantially, situationally. What is here currently is the opportunity to be alive fully in this moment. And when I was on the plane flying to North Carolina on Thursday, I was looking out at the clouds and just really taking in the beauty of like being able to see the world from above and like see the curve, and like there's like clouds and it's beautiful. And I was just looking out at it, and this thought popped in my head of the simplicity of loving being alive. And as it popped into my head, I had a moment of reflection and was like, do I love being alive beyond my situation, my apartment, my city that I live in, my friends, my family, my career, beyond all of those physical things that I do love so much? Do I love the simple aspect of being alive? And it was yes. But I haven't felt that way my whole life. And I think a lot of people don't feel that way. Beyond our circumstances, our family, our friends, anything, we can love those things. We should love those things. And yet, do we love being alive? Do we love being alive? Do we love the simple aspect of right here, right now, breathing in this air, in wherever you are, in whatever time of day it is? Do you love being alive? And I think when you fall in love with being alive, which is a process, and I'm still, learning how to have it be an everyday, every second moment for me. But when you fall in love with being alive, it's like, even if you're sitting on an airplane, you're having the time of your life. Even when you're sitting at the DMV, you're having the time of your life, because you recognize that the magic isn't in the circumstances. It's in the moment. It's in being alive on this planet right here, right now, in whatever way we are. And that question just pops into my head, like, do you love being alive? Yes, I love it. And so it's not about, for me, focusing, like, of course, yes, I want to have a career that I love and be surrounded by people that I love. But the most important thing is focusing on just being happy being alive, like being in love with being alive. And it's a journey. And yet, even though it's a process, it's something that's readily available in every second of every day. When you just look at the clouds and you're like, I am on this planet in the middle of vast, beautiful, dark space, and I'm on this living, breathing planet that just exists. Of course I love being alive. And from that, everything becomes easier, because it's like, yeah, like the situation's hard, and yet I love being alive. I love being alive. And so as I enter into 22, yes, I want to continue cultivating an income that is free and just fluid. And I want to continue being able to pay my bills. And I want to continue nurturing the beautiful relationships that I have in my life and continue growing within myself. And yet, as I enter into being 22 years old, I just want to, every single day, love being alive, period. I think that is just the most beautiful gift that we can give ourselves. And so, yeah, thank you for listening to this video. I had no plan at all, but yeah, I'm just feeling really grateful, and I'm just acknowledging that when you watch someone on the internet, on a video, you're meeting them in that moment, right? So maybe later today I'll be sad, or I'll be, going through it, or next week I'll be going through it. And yet the truth still holds still, the truth of wanting to grow, wanting to evolve, wanting to love being alive, and understanding that all of that is accessible right here, right now. And so I'm not making the commitment to being perfect or having it all together in my life, but I am making the commitment to myself that no matter what, I just want to grow and change and evolve and continue falling deeper and deeper in love with being alive. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. I hope that you're doing well and taking care of yourself. And go enjoy being alive. Turn off your computer. Go enjoy being alive. It really is an incredible thing. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you're doing well and taking care of yourself. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day today.